This lesson is going to be all about campaigns inside of Jarvee. We're going to start declaring what you want to upload, where you want to upload it, and actually, when to upload it, as well as all the cool features that come with this. It is going to be a little bit of a long lesson because there is so much content to cover, but trust me, by the end of it, you will know exactly everything you need to know about campaigns and how to automatically upload to your Instagram profiles efficiently and effectively. So let's get into it. We are in the campaigns on the sidebar here. So we have already created a destination. If you haven't watched the lesson before this where we talk about creating a destination, please do, because you will need that lesson completed. You need to create a destination for this to work. With that being said though, let's get into it. Let's come up here to add campaign. And we have three options here, and I've tried and tested the other two here. But the one that I generally go for right here is just a standard campaign. It does everything you need, it has the most options, and overall it's just going to work really well for you. So we're going to click add a standard campaign. It's going to open up this box for us, and the first thing we want to do is actually just select the destination you just created, because the campaign is now, in a way live. It's not running yet, but we do want to just declare, where are we going to be uploading to. So what we're going to do is come into our Where to Publish tab right here at the top, the Where to Publish module. Come down and you should see a list of destinations that you've created. For now it should just be one if you're only making one for one Instagram profile. But we're going to select it, and as you can see, it is still recognizing that our wall is selected. If you remember back in our destinations list, we enabled the wall, which is great. So yeah, basically what we've done now is just told Jarvee for this campaign, hey, anything we put in here, any pictures or videos, make sure just to upload to this destination, which is awesome. Now we can come back to the overview and start making our way through all this information. Like I said, it is going to be a lot, but it's going to be covering everything. So let's get started in the overview module. Up here, campaign 1, you can just call this whatever you want. So I would just call it probably the Instagram sort of profile, and then just campaign. You can call this whatever you want, of course, please feel free to do so. And also feel free to add in a description that maybe just sort of reminds you what the campaign is about. When it comes to my profiles, I'll actually just put in the Instagram and then campaign, and then I'll do a dash and then label the actual username of the profile. Or if it's a client's account, I'll put in the client's name, just so I know it's an Instagram campaign, and then it's the profile of like that Instagram account. You can also add tags in here, just so if you want to sort of separate, maybe you're running a lot of stuff. Not necessary, but it is there, so just be aware of it. We're going to kind of skip these top 3. We don't need to enable them, they're not really necessary features, and we will be skipping a few features in here just due to the mass quantity that there is. So we will be focusing on the ones that really do matter. And the first one being is this one right here. We're going to make images unique before they are posted, and we're going to make sure we change medium to small. Now the reason we're doing this is because image files have an MD5 sort of string of numbers. It's just sort of like a keychain of numbers, because platforms like Instagram, they can't actually visually look at 2 images and say they're the same. But if the 2 MD5 numbers are the same, Instagram can say, okay, these 2 images are the same. And it's argued in a way, if you're uploading or reposting the same images as other people, that you're spamming the platform. You can just in a way be flagged for spam. It's so rare that it happens, so that's why we just make a unique change before they're posted. We make it a small change, and what it's going to do is just change that MD5 number for you, which is great. Other options, of course, is watermark on image posts. We're not really going to dive into them because no one should be watermarking their images inside of Jarvee. But what we do want to do is just jump in here to our advanced settings right down the bottom, because there are some interesting things to talk about. So when you open this up, you'll probably see that you're in the general, and we don't need to look at all this, but hey, be aware that all these options are here and you can take your time, look through them, see what there is. But there is a lot of stuff, so we're just going to jump into the Instagram module right here, because there's some really cool little things to keep in mind here. So the first one is crop image instead of adding white borders. If you've ever seen images on Instagram, they sort of have the white borders if your photos like this size, sort of a 9:16 ratio. You can add this. I recommend you shouldn't be uploading images like that anyway. You should always have them 1 by 1, so a perfect square, or a 9 by 16, I believe it is, which would be 1080 by 1920 pixels. But you want to be uploading images that don't get cropped or added white borders, because they're the best for the user experience and just visual, aesthetics on Instagram. But it is there, just to be aware of it. We're also going to come down and look at just trying to have a little look for it here. There are a few things going on. Where are you? Excuse me, guys. Just trying to look for it here. Post on wall. Nope, it is down here. There it is. Post multiple image/video posters albums. It was just hiding down there at the bottom. This is an important thing you do need to enable, because if you want to upload, like the slideshow or multiple images that people can flick through, or videos, you need to make sure this option is enabled, otherwise it's just not going to do it outside of Jarvee. So yeah, make sure this one is on. Other options in here, such as like geolocation, don't worry about these, or tagging users, because you can do that specifically for each image. But if you want it to be just a general thing where you always want to maybe use a certain geolocation, you can come in here and add that geolocation just by typing it in, which is pretty great. And also the same with tagging users. If you want every image you upload to be tagging the same users, you can do that in here as well. You just type in the username, click add user, really simple stuff. Take your time on it, have a look through, because there are a lot of other options, but this one is definitely the most important that we needed to enable. We can close this down. Everything in here is looking great. We have obviously declared where to publish, so we can jump into our what to publish tab now. And this is really where things actually get a lot more simple, but I'm going to walk you through it, go step by step. So at the top we have add posts, scrape posts, RSS posts. You can monitor folders, clickable image posts, share posts, Flickr posts, and we will all be covering these sort of different options, specifically the monitor folder option, because it is a good one, in another lesson. But for now we're just going to stick an add post, because it is where most of your posts will be added, because you have more control on deciding what is going to be uploaded. So in here you can type in your caption. You could add some dots, and then you could paste in your sort of hashtag strategy. So of course we did the skyscraper hashtag strategy. Paste those hashtags in here. Hashtags too, whatever it is, paste them all in, and this will be your caption when you upload. Next up, you can then select your photo or video option. So these two buttons here, you can open it, you can drag photos in, you can type in URLs for Jarvee to automatically get pictures from a URL, which is cool. And then once you've done it, click add photos. And if you want to start making a slide, obviously bring in multiple photos and click add photos, and it'll do the slides for you, which is great. After that, you can use an Instagram story poll if you want to upload to your story, and we'll be talking about how you actually enable it to only be uploaded to your story in a second. You can use an Instagram story poll. In here you could type in, is this dog cute? And then what I recommend doing is, in your first option, second option, using emojis is really powerful here, or just simple, yes, no. And of course there isn't the add emoji button for these, but we can click it. We could maybe give a thumbs up, and we'll click add emoji, and we'll do a thumbs down. I know that was pretty quick, but just in the add emojis you can do them. And then you can copy and paste these across. So when people are viewing your story poll, it will be a thumbs up or thumbs down where they can vote yes or no, which is a really fun way of getting users to engage with your poll questions. And then you have different options here of how you want the layout to look. Take your time on this one. It's pretty simple at the end of the day. Just sort of got to think in your head how it will appear. Next up, if you want this to specifically be an Instagram story, you need to come down here to Instagram Advanced Options. It'd be nice in the future if they add a little option here. Maybe it will be in the future. But for now, click Instagram Advanced Options. And then you need to make sure you click Post as part of your story instead of on the wall. And this will be enabled. And then once you close out of it, you can add this to your post lists. And what your post list is, we'll look at in a second. It is basically just a timeline of everything that's going to be uploaded next. Or you can add it to your draft lists, which is just another list of different posts that you are maybe sort of work in progress, and you want to come back to them later and update the caption. I always recommend you do add to drafts just so you can double check it. And then from the drafts, you'll find out in a minute is that you can then add from the drafts into your post list, which is a really nice way of doing things. And yep, that is pretty much it at the end of the day. It's pretty simple. You just can go through this, take your time to explore different things. But what we will be doing is looking into when to publish, because we need to declare when we actually want, this campaign to publish posts, how many posts to do per day, and, at what time as well. So let's just say, for example, you're going to do 1 image per day. That's generally what I recommend to most people. We want to do this 1 time per day, and we can keep the range fully open here. So excuse me, mine sort of just bugged out a little bit. We'll leave it at 12 AM to 11:59. That's fine. And then right here is when we can actually say, what time we want this to be uploaded every day. So if you remember back in our when to upload and frequency, you can look at your insights on your Instagram profile. If you've enabled the business mode, you can go to sort of on your profile, it's like the bars. Click on that, go to your audience, and you'll see when they're most active. So you can actually specifically pick a time here. So, if most days, everyone's active at, like, let's just say 6:50 PM, you would choose 6:50 PM. That's when you want to upload, because everyone's going to be online. It's going to increase your likes and comments and overall engagement on your post. Yeah, make sure to check that out. If you haven't seen that lesson, go back and watch it on how, the posting frequency and times to learn how to do that. So, excuse me, what we can do down here is go through different options. I generally keep all of these off. There's no reason to turn them on. It's nice to just have everything controlled in a simple format. You can publish a post list item on all the selected destinations. You want to make sure this is enabled. Otherwise, it's not going to publish on those destinations. Otherwise, all of this, no reason to change these unless you're actually managing a proper maybe marketing campaign and it has an end date where you don't want it to upload anymore. Let's say you've create a campaign for a specific like business which just wants to promote like a watch like crazy throughout a month and it has an end date. You could just do that, but by default you should have in your mind how many posts are going to be uploaded anyway. And the rest we can just finish all this. Otherwise, if you are doing the like exchange sessions, what I would do is make sure this is enabled. You can go check out the like exchange lesson in the course. I believe it is above this section. And if you are doing like exchange, you obviously want your images to be uploaded when the like exchanges are going to be happening. So a session on like exchange is when basically all the users are told, hey, it's time to go like. You want to upload just before that session. Then everyone starts liking your content, and you're going to get a more of a boost and hopefully reach the explore page. So make sure this one is enabled for that reason. Finally, we're just going to cover the drafts, post list, and history. So in the drafts, what you'll see is, just to make this really simple, we'll add in a quick photo. Let's see what pops up here. Let's go into our pictures. Got a few pictures here. Let's just add this one of me paddleboarding. There we go. Looking lovely. So there it is. That would be our image. And by the way, you can hover over these to see them nice and big, see what you're uploading. We'll add this to our drafts just to make it a lot easier for you to understand. So in our list, we have a draft. This would be a post that, maybe we're not too happy with. And what we can do is click edit. We can come in here. Maybe we don't like this caption and we just want it to be 1, 2, 3 for whatever reason. Or we're like, oh, you know what? We should actually, make this a poll as well, or a story, things like that. So we'll just press OK. And what we can do as well, maybe you're like, oh, you know what, we like this being on our wall, but let's duplicate it and then let's edit it, come into Instagram advanced options, and we'll make sure this one is posted as part of our story. Or maybe we have a story and we're like, oh, we should add this to our wall as well. Things like that. Pretty good way. You can delete, etc. So once you're happy with all of this, what I recommend you do here is turn on this option, remove drafts when adding to post list. And then what you can do is you can say send to post list or send to the top of post list. So the top of the post list is telling Jarvee upload this image next, and you'll see it in a second. And then the bottom is upload this image last. So it just goes through chronologically on uploads after uploads. We'll just say send to post list. It'll disappear. You can also do, things like shuffle post, send all to post list once you're happy. Different little nice options, which are good. come into post list, and this is pretty much telling Jarvee, hey, like once it goes, you know, to where did we declare here? Excuse me. Once it gets to, you know, 6:25 a.m. or let's say just 5 p.m. Once it gets to this time, it should upload this image, which is great. So yeah, that is pretty much it. You can also auto delete duplicated images, which is nice just in case you add in multiple things at different times. You can send invalid aspect ratio post to draft just so you want to double check everything is a good ratio. So this one shouldn't be. So we'll do it, and it should send it off, as you can see, because it wasn't the right format, which is really nice. But we'll just add this back into our post list. If you want to publish it now, you can also edit, do things like that. Really simple. And then finally, you'll just see your history of everything that's been uploaded in Campaign. But other than that, everything is good to go. There's nothing else you actually need to do. It'll just start automatically doing everything for you, which is great. It will say it's stopped, but don't worry. You can click here in your actions start, and everything will be good to go. Yeah, once you're done, make sure to come in here, back into your campaigns, actions, start, stop, and you can also publish now if you want to do an instant post. Little bits like that just to sort of get them out there, make sure they are in your head and ready to be used. But otherwise, what we're going to do is just stop this because it isn't a real account. But yeah, go through this, take your time with it. It is quite a beast on its own, just uploading. But once you get into it, you get more comfortable. You'll just be able to automate posts throughout the day, automatically, not have to worry about getting on your phone and doing all that annoyance. Hopefully this has been helpful and insightful. Any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next lesson.